Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the Third Eagle of the Apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. Shortly after our new Pope, Pope Francis, was inaugurated, I made a video which questioned whether he was Petrus Romanus, that is a true Pope, the last Pope, according to St. Malachi, or was he the false prophet, as predicted in Daniel. And several events occurred this week which make me sort of question again, is he a true or a false pope? And earlier, Maria Divine Mercy, who was a seer in Ireland, received a message from Jesus, or so she says, and this is what she reported. Jesus told her, "There is to be a particular insult which will be inflicted upon my holy name in an effort to desecrate me during Holy Week. This wicked gesture during Holy Week will be seen by those who keep their eyes open. And this will be one of the signs by which you will know that the impostor who sits on the throne of my church on earth does not come from me." Well, those are very harsh words, and to be honest, Pope Francis has struck me as a very kind and sincere person. However, this week, he conducted very strange ceremonies in the Vatican. One of them was that he organized a palm procession around that horrible obelisk in the center of St. Peter's Square. And that is, without a doubt, a very pagan, Masonic type symbol. And the second thing he did was he washed the feet of a woman. Now, this is part of a common ceremony in the Catholic Church, but Jesus never washed the feet of a woman. Now, a woman did wash his feet, so if Pope Francis wants to be true to the gospel, he should have had a woman wash his feet. Now, what this indicates to me is that Pope Francis is ignorant of the effects of original sin. He doesn't seem to be able to distinguish between pagan activities and holy activities. Let's take a look at a few of these very strange clips. Here we see the procession of palms being taken down to an altar set up in front of this hideous obelisk on the upper right-hand side of your screen. This is all taking place in St. Peter's Square. And here is St. Peter's in the background. And as I say, this procession is taking place. Here is the obelisk on the upper right-hand side. There is no way this obelisk could be considered a religious symbol. The marchers completely encircle this obelisk. This is no different than a maypole dance. Now, I am not ready to label Pope Francis a false prophet just because of this procession to the obelisk. The Lord does not show me everything, but he does tell me what to look for. Now, it's very possible that an evil cardinal is the false prophet, and he is advising Pope Francis. Pope Paul VI, many, many years ago, said that the smoke of Satan had entered into the Catholic Church. I noticed that Pope Francis did not participate in this procession around the obelisk. Now, to Pope Francis' credit, he did not process around the obelisk. He came straight to the altar in his Pope-mobile. Now, to me, Pope Francis is a very holy and sincere-looking man. But, of course, looks can be deceiving. Now, this television image, which I am going to show you, was broadcast around the world. Is this image a prophecy of the end? Notice how the Pope's head blocks out part of the word defendant, and we get the end. Interestingly, when the Pope blesses himself, he moves away from the end. Now, I am willing to overlook these lapses on the part of Pope Francis. After all, Pope Benedict made mistakes. He said, for example, that homosexuals could use condoms. Pope John Paul II made the mistake of conducting a religious service with pagans. And these are indiscretions, but they do not verify a false prophet. Let's take a look and see what the prophet Daniel says the false prophet will do. These are the signs that we must look for. As I explained several weeks ago, chapter 12 of Daniel was explained by chapter 10. And when Daniel writes, "Blessed is he that waits and comes unto 1,335 days," he is talking about the tribulation period. Because in chapter 10 he says that Daniel mourned the days of 3 weeks, and the 3 weeks symbolizes 3 years. The mourning is the days of great tribulation. And verse number 11 tells us what we are to be looking for in the false prophet. "And from the time when the continual sacrifice shall be taken away." But what is the continual sacrifice? And Daniel explains in chapter number 10, verse number 3, "I ate no desirable bread." This desirable bread is the Eucharist. "And neither flesh nor wine entered into my mouth." This flesh nor wine indicates the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And the abomination of desolation, as described in chapter 12, is further explained in chapter 10, when Daniel says, "Neither was I anointed with ointment." In other words, whoever takes away this desirable bread, that is the Eucharist, is a false prophet, a false pope. He has not truly been anointed. And that is the abomination of desolation, as described in Daniel 12. So is this taking away of the Holy Eucharist from the faithful the wicked sign that Maria Divine Mercy says Pope Francis will perpetrate during Holy Week? I don't know the answer, and I ask you to help me to keep looking. Because when this occurs, then we will know why God struck the Vatican with lightning at exactly 5:55 p.m., the exact day that Pope Benedict resigned. And as always, I do offer a free copy of my book, Revelation Unraveled. If you are interested, you can write to the address you see on your screen. Or I have a new feature on my YouTube channel. You can go there at any time, click on part 1 or 2, and read my book, Revelation Unraveled, at your own leisure.